YouTube, new pack, new ban list, fully applied. What is new in the pack? Well, at the top, we have magnet bonding, and at the bottom, we have nerfed Dracotail. Their Rahu is limited to 1, their Lucas is limited to 1. Is Dracotail going to fall to maybe tier 2, tier 3? Is it still tier 1 best deck? Or are we just waiting for the new branded cards to further boost the deck back up to being the best deck again? Maybe it's still the best deck. Let's find that out. Are you ready? Maxi, Doug, and Rixia. Hajime, but watch as long as you can the greatly sports events.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Normal Malulu branded fusion. What the hell? It's like you have one Rahu now, and then the second and third Rahu is branded fusion, but they were already using branded fusion. There's a very nice little nuanced play here of chaining Malulu to a Fool Loss if they were not able to activate it within the draw standby phase. So now they get one less draw. As the Arthalion's going to recycle back the Malulu and Frixel, Malulu, Urgula, and the Frixel are going to be triggering to set up triple back row cards. Prayers also being limited to 1 today is quite a big deal. Let's key 2, Purge, Negate. Now, what is Purge going to lock him out of? Purge is going to ensure that Dark, Water, and Fire are no longer usable for the rest of the duel. Dark, Water, Fire. No Little Knight. No Elf. Dark, Water, Fire. No Wave King Caesar. Dark, Water, Fire. No Chang Ying. It shuts off a decent portion of his extra deck, but it was still worth it to use. Let's see what Maxi Doug could do now. Shotgun. Straight away. Player priority, normal summon Guardian. It's too late to activate one of your monster effects. This will simply negate a monster effect and destroy it. Use Horn, right? Well, I don't see Horn in the back row. Oops. Researcher, special summon. Researcher, if we control a rock, we're going to reveal 5 cards off the top of the deck. We could special summon the Epsilon or the Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus. Sigma Minus will send for the deck the level 8. Exciton Knight. I talked about this for my own Magnet Warrior deck. You want to be playing this. Let's freaking go. Wipe away the entire field. We're going to Dracotail Sting, banish from the opposing player's graveyard, taking out the Tellusion Magnet Warrior. There's the fusion card, which is the Magnet Bonding. It could return it back in the deck, so it's not gone for good. Full board wipe, no more damage for the rest of the turn, and of course, a single Exciton goes into Requiem. We could forego having to go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. Board wipe into Crimson Tears, send for the deck here. He's playing a lot more Fiendsmith than I am with my own build. I'm just playing Engraver, which I'm not saying he's playing the incorrect way. Let's reborn the Lacrima. Remember, we have no damage this turn. Let's Bonding, search our deck for the Sigma Minus. As we're making our Wave King Caesar, bro, what did you do? You can't even activate it, right? Dark, Water, Fire. Water, can't use it. It's just 2,800, that's it. We forgot. This is where he's like, why can I not negate? I'll look it up later. I don't know why. Wait, he's Earth. He's Earth. It's now an Earth. What? All face-up monsters of the field become Earth. You play around the Purge restriction. What the heck? You gotta keep this on the field. Huh. That's a nice little trick you got there. Huh. Now, the reverse happens if the opponent activates Impulse. They can't activate Earth monsters. So if you have this on the field, and now they summon in a monster that's not Earth and they activate Impulse, they're going to be thinking, why is my card not activatable? Well, you cannot activate because you're an Earth. Let's freaking go. Let's now Flux, Reborn back the Coca Mirror Guardian. Oh, that's insane. Reborn back the Negate. Did not have a rock to reveal. With this left up on the field, the Wave King Caesar is activatable. Damn. Got him. I can't believe it. Through Purge turning off the Wave King Caesar. Purge doesn't say original attribute, right? It's simply just the attribute, so it definitely is allowing it to be usable. Full loss. Now, unfortunately, some people today had to receive game losses for not abiding by the new ban list. To be clear, every event we ever run always abides by the new ban list right away, and Gianna also writes it on the sign up. She writes it on the ping. We are doing the new ban list, new ban list, new ban list. I think a common thing, even people that knew we were doing the new ban list, they forgot that their Vanquish Soul deck lost their Stake Your Soul. It went from 2 to 1. Let's see what magnets could do now. Fu lost in the draw phase to counter the Femina. As we're now going to use the magnet bonding, only activatable within the main phase, unfortunately. But it being a quick effect is still great, chainable to a draw. Now, we tried to use the effect. We could still use it 2 more times, but we can't use the same effect. So the effect of Fusion Summon is now no good for the rest of this turn. Duo Tyrion. If you draw this, just chain to it. We're now going to negate, since he's activating the effect, to add from the deck the level 7 Magnet Warrior, which is the core play. It dumps 2 cards in the deck, it reborns in the grave, you fully pop off from there. We tried to bait, and we did. We successfully baited the flame, but freaking Ash. Ash on top of an already pretty good turn 1 had to ruin the duel. Normal summon Epsilon, dump from the deck, and it's not even rebornable. This actually turned out to be decent. I'm surprised, because the Epsilon requires another monster in the graveyard to reborn, but because of the Omega Plus being able to pop the Black Dragon, this actually ends up being good. I'm shocked. Well done. Missed out on a reborn. Fool. I have 2 droll. Don't worry, bro, I got it. I'm going to droll myself. 3 drolls with both players here. And I guess we just wave King Caesar. Now, what did I say in my ban list review? That more of you, after the new ban list, which is what this is right now, need to be playing Fiendsmith, because only after the ban list does a card like Wave King Caesar become much better. Wave King Caesar negating Rahu is not good if they have a 2nd and 3rd copy that they could set from the deck or just have in their opening hand. Now you could safely negate it, and it's still a great play. 2 special summon negates, negate an interaction with the deck, negate an interaction with the graveyard, 4 disruptions. Cartesia over the Malulu. To battle we go. Cartesia gets negated by Wave King Caesar, then we're screwed. Doesn't even bother. Oh my gosh. Rahu gets negated. Our normal summon gets negated. Double negate on the Wave King Caesar. Oh boy. And then if we had Key 2, we had Purge to negate. That's full combo. Full combo. Now we do get to droll him, and we'll see how impactful the droll ends up being. Under the effect of droll, we now can't send Beta to reborn it, since we can't search, but we're gonna be summoning something else instead. Call of the Grave will be fingering the Epsilon, at least attempting to do so, as the Ghost Spell now negates. Cartesia is pinned down by the Wave King Caesar. She cannot activate to fuse. Is this it? Yes, it is. We're going to dump from the deck a Beta, since we don't play more than 1 copy of the Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus, which would have been a better play here. Are we giving up our ability to attack directly? No, we're not. We're just summoning Little Knight in passing, entering the battle phase, thus it's now no longer activatable. Is this lethal damage? Yes, it is. Lethal damage. Droll is being used like crazy, so we are in the perfect opportunity to play Fiendsmith. Droll is at 64% usage at the highest rank officially in game, and Fiendsmith does not care about Droll. Brilliant Fuse, Max C in response. Now, what Brilliant Fusion does is it immediately sets up an Omni Negate in the grave. By having a fusion on field and the in-grave monster, what is this one called again? It is the Hollow Core. If they activate anything, just straight up negate. Now, it does not destroy. Now, because we're under max C and the green light was not an orange lane, we don't have another fairy, this is all we have. We have Imperm and a negate. Now, you could be thinking, what about this effect? This effect is unfortunately not going to lead into a form of disruption. We summon from the extra deck, nothing to disrupt with. So just double disrupt. Negate anything and Imperm. Should we have chained? Because, okay, we still get to Hollow Core. I was going to say, because if he gets rid of this by battle, you then can't use the Hollow Core to negate. Negate the FireKing Island. Use it passing. His core play. Popping the Grunix. Ain't no way. Foolish Burial, full combo. Fiendsmith, full combo. We have 2 full combos. What are we going to do to stop it? Well, Impulse negating the Neprim, and the Neprim is part of the Fiendsmith combo of getting it in the graveyard to then reborn it back. So what are we now going to do? We're going to dump the Engraver. Let's make the Requiem. The Nibiru is going to be getting ready. Reborn back the Engraver, send to summon our Crimson Tear, make our sequence here, go into the Lacrima on resolution, we're going to Nibiru. Wipe the field, because this could turn into a Wave King Caesar whether we're playing it or not. And we are playing it. Lacrima returned back the sequence, burn for 12, now back to you. Dead green light, we just have impermanence. What the heck is going on here? And now we finally, back-to-back, trying to activate this to pop our Garunix, to grab the Ponix. Ponix is going to get impermed. We need the Ponix to get destroyed. If we can destroy it, then the Garunix will trigger. And now our whole field gets destroyed, thus now the Garunix triggers. Exactly what we needed. Well done. If you're playing FireKing, I think it's, it was not turn 1, but if it's turn 1, you probably want to summon the token in attack position just for the extra play of being able to swing in an Almirage or swing in your Ash Blossom or the Ponix. Again, it wasn't turn 1, so it was good to put it in defense. Very nice. 1 win for Yusuf. That was the first game. Let's go. Parelia on our own turn as we Crystal Rose dump from the deck the Neprim. Neprim reborn. As the Neprim will now be triggering to grab the Hollow Core. We got to be careful. Once the Hollow Core's in graveyard with the fusion on field, they're going to be able to negate our hand traps. Turn these 2 bodies into the Quartz. We do not have a negate yet. If our very next summon is a fusion, we could then negate Nibiru. Dispersion is the fusion summon. Now we have a negate. Oh my Jesus, mate. Grab back the Neprim, but Yusuf could bait. We have multiple plays here. We have the Garunix, which could trigger off of the Kirin popping the Ponix, and then we also have Nibiru. So what do? But what's also annoying is we're under Parelia. Summoning from the hand is going to be giving them draws. I know we're under Parelia. I do know that. So Yusuf has a lot of decision-making to make. It's not going to be easy for him. As we now go into the Engraver. Engraver turn these 2 into the sequence. Now, we're going to make plays. We're going to be popping. Get that draw 1, pop on the Ponix, as I said. Trigger the Garunix. Oh my jeez. Draw 1, draw 2, draw 3. This Parelia is devastating. And we drew an orange light into an orange light. You got to be freaking kidding me. There is no way this just happened. Now, we can negate the Kirin. Or we can Mudora. Now, Kirin is going to possibly summon a monster from the hand or grave. We don't know. But if we take the gamble and just shuffle the card from the grave, we know that then they have to use the hand. And only if they summon, do they then get to destroy a card in the field. The gamble is going to obviously pay off, as we could see. So this is where Yusuf's going to go. Bro, you are lucky. I could have had a FireKing in my hand. What the hell is that? And then we have Hollow Quartz and negate Nibiru. Not even knowing that he had orange light. Wow. Insane. Let's now sequence. Fuse up at the graveyard into Lacrima. Lacrima is going to be reborning back the Engraver. Turn these 2 into a Wave King Caesar. Quartz is going to fuse with the Banishment. Summon into a Diamond, further making the Abal. Abal's going to discard Fool Loss, pop away the Kirin, which it has already activated its hard once return effect this turn. Little Knight banishing Garunix. If this is pure FireKing, we probably played more than 1 Garunix. If it's Snake Eye FireKing, then we are screwed. We likely only play 1. But I'm leaning towards this is pure FireKing, so we should have more than 1. No fire to pop and then search Garunix and then trigger Garunix. Now, does this have to destroy a fire? No, it could destroy Nibiru, but, what are we really going to do off of that? Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Well, we have Impulse, we have Fool Loss, we have Ash, we have Maxi. We got to be careful with the Impulse because it will disallow us from using Maxi. We also cannot use the Fool Loss. We have to use them before we want Impulse. And then we didn't want to set it because then we wouldn't be able to use Fool Loss early. Brilliant Fuse, Ash, Negate, Mates. No Maxi, no Fool Loss. This would immediately turn on the ability to negate a hand trap. Fiendsmith tracked. Fiendsmith is here. It is top freaking tier. We're going to be in a situation where the Fiend might use Drone Lockbird on himself. Yusuf waiting with the Impulse, or we're just going to Fool Loss, okay? We're not impulsing it. We're going to... Obviously, we don't want to impulse before the Fool Loss. Fua and Maxi double. On this summon, the Fiend could drop that Droll. Are you ready? Are we drolling? Yes, we are. Under Droll, how does that affect this deck? Our Link 2 can no longer add from the deck. The Neprim cannot add from the deck. No add, no add. So without being able to add from the deck up to twice is what the kind of hand we have right now. Let's see what we could do. Fiendsmith Sequence. Sequence going to fuse into nothing as the Imperm negates. Now with Imperm in the graveyard, Impulse just became better. Impulse now destroys. Neprim allows the additional summon into the Quartz. Quartz cannot add from the deck. Neprim also did not add. This is a negate and destroy. Mate, get it off the field. We were trying to perform a fusion summon. What do we have here? Battle phase pass? Zero disruption. Nothing. But Yusuf has no play. What is this? Rang Ball, negate a spell and trap card. What the? How many one-card combos does Yusuf have in his deck? What could he draw into? Probably, I don't know, let's just see. Courtier is here. Let's go. That's a combo. That's a wombo. We don't even have the Mudora in graveyard to return cards back in the graveyard. Garunix is going to be popping the Arvata from the deck. Arvata is going to be reborning back the Garunix. To battle phase we go. Not enough for lethal damage. Unfortunate. Okay, what do we do in MP2? MP2, Sunlight Wolf, further link off into an Almirage. Trigger the Sunlight Wolf to recycle Ash Blossom back. Now we have Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess will get countered by the Mudora potentially. This is likely, yeah, this is not a disruption. It's just reborning the sequence. It's not even going into Requiem, which would maybe be a Fiendsmith in Paradise. Arvata, pass. So what is the goal here? The goal is for them to activate a monster effect, and Arvata destroys Promethean to negate, which will then trigger Garunix to reborn and pop a Kirin from the deck, which will then reborn a monster and pop a card in the field. We would then special summon, which would trigger the Promethean to pop that monster or another monster in the field on the special summon. We also have an Ash Blossom to negate an interaction with the deck. So if everything goes perfect, 4 disruptions. They are quite conditional here. Now, the issue is Mudora works on the field or grave. If we normal summon Mudora, that's going to mess up the Garunix play. But now we have Diviner. You would probably want to normal summon Diviner, but Mudora is so good we summon it instead. Oh boy. Now, the Arvata can negate the Mudora, so as long as we out the Arvata, he's in big trouble. He's activating the effective fusion summon. Tracked into Lacrima. Ooh, we're doing it. Right here, right now. Mudora's gonna shuffle it all back. Takes it out. Trigger, Mudora shuffle. It's all about the Mudora to hard counter. He leaves in the Promethean Princess. Promethean got to stay. Let's equip sequence onto Lacrima. To battle we go. This is quite a basic duel, or what? Now, Arvata being destroyed had no Fire, Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast in the graveyard to reborn. Ash was no good. We're getting reduced by Lacrima. Did people even know this has the additional effect of reducing the opposing field by 600? If we activate a spell and trap card, we could negate. Let's make the Requiem mate. Requiem can get negated by the Ash. We did see him add an Ash back on the previous turn, though. This is just really unfortunate. Yusuf was in a good position, but got Mudora'd. How relevant, how prevalent is Mudora? It's nowhere. No, Mudora's nowhere. That's never going to happen to Yusuf ever again. In 100 more duels, he will not get Mudora'd. Normal Diviner, which is full combo. There you go. Neprim, discard the Fulos, Reborn, searching for the Holocore, dump a Gemknight Fusion, summon. Gemknight Fusion in the grave now gives the Dispersion the additional effect to Fusion Summon. We're now going to be making the Moon of the Closed Heaven to then go into the sequence, fuse to the graveyard. Come forth, Lacrima is back on summon, Reborn back, the Engraver. This is 5,400 damage with the ability to burn for an additional 12, but not on this turn again since we already did it. So we are in the burn range, but we can't burn. We have to Wave King Caesar. If Wave King Caesar is sent to the graveyard or it negates one card, lethal damage, it's over, it's game over. So what do? How do we stop this? The Wave King Caesar has a bomb under it, and Yusuf is triggering the bomb. Or not, no he's not. He's not bouncing it back. He's got this stuck. If he could link this off, he wins. How does he get the Lacrima engrave? Is this it? Do we link it and we win? Yep, that's it. That's it. Little Knight, ignite the bomb, boom. Lethal damage. Even Chainlink block if you were to somehow have an effect negate, maybe a Baron to floor negate. Boom. Very nice. Very nice. Post-ban yummy. Do I know when the patron sport's coming to MD? Probably 3 to 4 months from now is unfortunately when you could expect it. Ash, negate the Eldamate. Now, is it a bigger choke point to negate the Chrysaea? Of course it is, but by negating Chrysaea and they have all these other bodies to be able to set up the trap, sometimes you just gotta high roll your negates. Konami's making modern decks where it's almost not smart to hold on to your hand trap for a specific play because they have 20 different pathways to 20 other pathways. It's not all in on searching for a specific card like Branded Fusion. It's not all in on setting up a Turbulence. And with that linear way of the past decks being gone, holding onto the hand trap is no longer as effective. Sulfur Chord Happiness, which could be a good Ash choke point, but then you can't Ash the Cupsy Synchro. Cutia is here. Come to me. Solfagia. Let's link this off into a Link Reba. We can now special summon our Yummies as we turn this into the Cupsy Yummy Way. Cupsy Yummy Way, grab a limited to 1 Cupsy from our deck. Special summon, activate searching for the Yummy Surprise. As we now have the Snatchy. Snatchy, play the field spell, Reborn, MST, negate. Now, I think this is a good opportunity to tell you if you are playing this deck and you activate Happiness and there's a big pause and they end up not using Ash, or let's say you normal summon Cupsy and there's a big pause on whether they want to use Ash on it, you know they're saving Ash for the Cupsy. So not only are there multiple different ways to segue into a ton of disruptions, thus holding a single disrupt for one play is not a good idea, you could then chain link block your Cupsy. And a way to do that, not if you activate your Cupsy, the regular non-synchro one, is simply you set up a Snatchy and then you have the Minion. So you Minion activate to Reborn Cupsy and then you chain Snatchy to synchro with another Yummy into the Cupsy Synchro. So do you understand this? Cupsy Synchro summons. Cupsy from the grave, non-synchro reborns. And then what's going to happen is Cupsy Synchro will be Chainlink 1, and then Cupsy non-synchro will be Chainlink 2, Chainlink blocking an Ash, where you then get punished if you held onto the Ash for specifically that synchro. And because it's Master Duel, not TCG, you could feel the Ash on other plays that are Ashable, potentially. So it's another thing to think on, you can't have a linear mindset of save one card for one card and then they play around you doing that, then you scoop. We have the Magala triggering as we now have Sheena to bounce the entire field back. We of course are still getting negated, but we're not getting destroyed because we're no longer in the original spot, so you do dodge that destruction. We have a deck that's filled to the brim with gas. All gas. So this obviously would not be enough. And it definitely wasn't. Damn. So it's weird to say that this is a safer deck, but less powerful. Hit him with the impermanence. We could follow up, special summon Swen. Swen is going to also get purged. And they got us. Hipster's not even thinking of really when to use his disruption, it looks like. He's just negating the first card. Radiant Typhoon, Link 2, grab MST, and set pass. What's up with this? Well, Super Poly will fuse to their field, then trigger this to play the trap, and then with MST and the trap, it can negate one card. That would be a double disrupt. Can Yummy play through that? Let's find out. Well, if I have the Super Poly to even be able to use the MST, they have to get at least 2 bodies on the field. They're gonna have to be of the same attribute generally. Can we fuse that? Apparently not. Uh-oh. As long as he continually has different attributes in the field or makes one card plays on the field, he's going to be impervious to the Super Poly. Now, we can Super Poly. But when do we want to do it? We could do it whenever we want. We're just going to wait for a more opportune moment. This really screws things up. The Crow field spell will now be triggered if we Super Poly. We fuse their field, they're going to summon any Yummy they want from the deck. Lollipo, and he's gonna force us to use it. So after fusing with this field, you know how many bodies he'll have on the field? I'm gonna fuse 2 of your bodies, but somehow after fusing 2, you're gonna have 3 bodies. How does that make sense? Fuse 2, you now have 3, because I'm reborning 2, and then I'm summoning 1 from the deck. Oh my Jesus. And then we have a single card to negate, but it actually can't negate anything. Why is that? Yummy Surprise could chain link block the trap. So it's then useless. So all we had was the Super Poly and that's it. Now, he doesn't even bother using it with the trap because he knows he has a Yummy Surprise. So he's gonna use the MST itself as its pseudo form of disruption. But then, okay, I still have 3 bodies through the Yummy Surprise if it's not 1 from the deck and you had to use MST. We're done. We can't even draw a card. We can't even cope and draw into a hand trap. I think in the TCG, no one would question you activating this to draw into a Sheena. Not here, though. Finish him. Right? Endless gas. Insane. Very easily. Did we just flip our own card face down? What was that? Huh? Why did we do that? Is there something I'm missing here? I'm not like really thinking about because once I establish someone has won the duel, I turn my brain off for the rest of the duel. Chain Reborn, BMing, it's an oops. Okay. Now the mandate is going to be able to return back and draw a card. We also have the Eldam searching. So maybe it's not completely over. Droll will not be usable because we are in the draw phase. Mandate, mate, return it back and get drawn. Let's go. Cupsy is going to go for that random draw into a potential hand trap here. Not so good. And then only within the main or battle phase can the Snatchy be able to perform a synchro. Thus, within the draw phase, this is the ideal moment to use Mandate to negate Snatchy. Well done. There's apparently a lot more to this duel than I thought. We are in main phase 0. Undrollable. So much we have done here. Summon the Hagela. Wipe him out. He does have Nibiru, and the Nibiru should be activatable. We are under Purge. Purge turns off our Dark Water Fire. Link 2 to grab an MST from the deck or the graveyard here. As now, MST to trigger Magala, summon from the deck. This has to be the monster negate. If it's not, then Nibiru's gonna wipe it all away. Obviously, it's gonna be the monster negate, right? That doesn't negate Nibiru. Oh my gosh. No! Well then. It's okay. We have mandate, negate, one card, and that's it. Surely Yummy can't play through a single negate, right? It's not even a removal, just a simple negate. Let's see what happens. Pendulum summoning? Hell no, we're gonna MST and negate the other. No pendulum summoning your hand onto the field, whatever it may be. Destroy and negate. Phonix Reborn back out. Phonix has no effects. It's effectless, 3,000 attack. It's a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yeah, he knows. He knows. Marshmallow add back surprise, where that's going to go. He could field spell, super boost up his field, attack over for game. Damn, that is unfortunate. And post ban list. Cups limited to 1. Normal summon Gold Leo, no hand traps whatsoever, which means a normal summon Gold Leo should be 2 Ligers. Well, double Liger, unaffected from all card effects, Little Night Chain banished, double Raigeki, Impulse, Ash, and a Spell and Trap card negate in the grave, which we do have our fusion, 6 disruption. Pack it up, right? It's done. Should Zeus even make a single play? Should he reveal that he's playing Vanquished Soul? Maybe Maybach doesn't know. That's okay. All right. Yup. Let's go. Now, we have to play through a freaking Fool Loss. And then whatever field we build, droplet. One of the big downsides of Vanquish Soul is they don't set up Omni Negates. That's it. Oh my lord. Okay, Liger, have your way with me. Speed this up. How about no? There was another option. Just leave. I was under the mindset that this deck was only worth playing for Natura Beast. Boy, was I wrong. Because Shadow does not have a single synchro in this extra. Let's go. All right, I'm pleasantly surprised. Happy to see it. What the brick was this? Crusade and Mandate? Ain't no way. Now, Shadow will activate a quick play spell as part of their core combo, and then the Crusade will be able to draw 2. We have Crimson Tear, discard, Nibiru. Let's activate a Fusion Summon with the Lurie and Lacrima Crimson in our hand here. Double the Fua. Oh my Jesus. This is stressful. You're not dueling and no one's watching. You're not randomly on the ladder with an anonymous name here. You're in a tournament. You're under double Fua loss. You have to make the decision where you will look bad if you go for lethal and don't get that lethal damage, and then you lose because of it. You'll also look bad if you don't go for lethal and then you lose next turn, because then you should have just went for lethal. What does Shadow do under double Fool Loss? It is turn 2, he has the attack. Does he go all the way or make a minimal play? Does he want to look like a wussy or a Chad? Lacrima Reborn. Now we have to remember, Lacrima is an additional 1,200 damage. So we have to deal 68. 68, or here we got 8,000 right there. 8,000, no more. No more summon from the deck or extra deck. This is a reborn from the graveyard. This is okay to do. Add back. And it looks like it wasn't that difficult for Shadow to just put up lethal damage. Well done. The Fool Loss challenge has succeeded. Barely an inconvenience for him. I thought it would have been maybe a tougher choice. It really didn't trigger that Fool Loss that much. Okay, good job. Okay, so for the second game, Daredevil bricked again. Back-to-back bricked on Radiant Typhoon. Can't believe it. Let's go. LOL Floodgate. True Light, hold the Ash for the Wishes of Isa Blue. True Classic negates. And wow, did that clap us up big time. Holy moly. We're gonna Fool Lost the normal summon a Droll. Okay, never mind, I'm not gonna link it off. All right, before you end your turn, this is what power creep looks like. Being able to Azuna, I guess. Within the end phase, let's now make a Ripper. We're not gonna Nash Knight, try to suck up a Droll Knockber within the main phase, which is only then we'd be able to activate that. Rip it up, detach the search, impermanence, negate imperm is very good against Ripper. I do think with Dracotail being nerfed, overall on the ladder, we're going to see more impermanence. The main reason why imperm's not being used as much, even though it's a very good card, is you can't fuse with it in Dracotail, you can't reveal it as an attribute in Vanquish Soul. What are we doing here? Just duel's over, finish him. 10,000 damage. Werewolf on summon, pop away the True Light. True Light take out the 0 attack Droll. Damn. Let's go. Barrel set the Lordy Load. We're going to Ash negate that because there isn't a guarantee that they can even segue into a Wishes. So we do have to take that gamble, turning off their ability to go into a Drill Beam. So you should in fact look at your hand and think, how impactful would a Drill Beam be to my hand? Can I handle a Drill Beam? Not really. On top of maybe one other disruption, it would be too much of an inconvenience. Thus, you then negate the load. If you have a hand where I could easily deal with the Drill Beam, then just hold the Ash. If they never go into a Wishes, then you already know that their field's going to not be that great on top of the Drill Beam if they're not going to have access to the Wishes anyway. We're, of course, getting max freaking seed. True Light, set up the Wishes, and then this is where if we save the Ash for this instead, but instead we turned off the Drill Beam access. Now, there could be a small chance they already have Drill Beam in hand, which you do have to account for, but it is a one-of. So you knowing it's a one-of, thus it's a safer negate. Purge, negate, the inclusion, mate. We got the Jokel play. Now, Jokel, whether Muffin Munster knows it or not, is not activatable. What the heck? Special summon this in the revealed card. The secret, I do think it's a secret effect. Many people don't know this. Neither player could special summon 2 monsters at the same time. So as long as we keep this on the field, Jokel is pinned down. So our goal is to get that off the field. How do we get rid of it? We didn't chain Majesty to this activating to summon. Do we chain Majesty to that? No. Now we're going to Majesty. So you could be thinking, why not wait for this to activate? There is a risk that he is going to shotgun out the Doom Dragon. And then by waiting on this, you then get clapped up by that. So just getting rid of it right here, right now. Well, something protected this. What protected this? Cannot be destroyed. Is it this card? Your face-up Millennium Monsters you control is destroyed. What protected this, actually? It's about to protect it. If it would be destroyed, you could place it in... Okay, it is going to the back row. And we still summon the Doom! No! We played around this by playing into this. Not like this. They'll negate. Oh, we're still good. We're great. Good, good, good. So it looks like popping the Golem was the correct play and what we need to do. With the Sulfador in Graveyard, we do have the additional negate inactivation of a card in Grave. Spell Trap Monster does not matter. Jokel, again, still rendered to be useless here. As we this Fern, banish, add a Smiger. We already used up our normal summon. Sulfaneer, discard the Smiger, Reborn back in the field, pop it, and unfortunately, he was able to play through it. Despite not being able to use Jokel, he is still okay. Crystron Alesk is going to add back the Sulfador. To battle we go. We're now going to jump off. We can now main phase 2, summon the Jokel. Can the Ultimate Spirit negate Jokel? No. It can only negate an activation on field. And it doesn't even destroy. So if we negated Jokel, it would stay on the field. Now he's going into a Jax. Jax on summon. Attempt to pop the Ultimate Spirit. Now, this is not a chain link block. We are just not negating. What? I guess, why not just negate? Yeah, just a reminder, it was not a chain link block. You can't block that. All right. Toggle off, I don't know. Banish away the Spirit Dragon. Lupus Reborn. Ripper, this is all main phase 2. Ripper detach, Lantern, set up the Force Release. Not only are hand traps really bad against K9, but then Ripper really makes you feel like a piece of shite, because if you activate a hand trap from the hand or something activated in the graveyard, you then get that additional Force Release. The additional ability to pop any card in the field and look at your hand and banish a card, or go into a Jax to pop an additional card in the field. True Light, Reborn, the Blue Eyes. Maiden is here. Now, a lot of people don't remember that this has an effect to destroy the True Light, which then destroys their whole field. Goodbye, True Light. Wipe the fields. We needed to set the card that summons a Blue Eyes from the deck or graveyard, or we couldn't set the Wishes because it's already in the graveyard. You have to set something different. Primite Barrel, trying to recycle back while already having one in the hand. We're going to activate the Wishes, come to me, Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, and our Sage. Okay, what does this entail? We just have to set, then activate. Yeah, because otherwise he would look at the hand and get rid of it. Or the Umbral Horror would discard a card from the hand. So we do have negate a monster on field. And we do have banish a card from the hand. Maiden, play the True Light from the graveyard. All is swell, except the cluster says that it could pop a card. Crystal cards you control cannot be banished by your opponent's card effects, but we can still use this whenever we want to take out the True Light, pop just one card. So the True Light's going to activate after the Maiden comes out, and then the Maiden and the Blue Eyes are going to get completely wiped out, and then the Roar will just be no good. Okay. Yeah, the state of Blue Eyes. Summon and defense also. Wishes equip, Tyrant Dragon, can attack into the Umbral Horror, and then we could set back onto the field a trap. Let's go. Very nice. Back to you. We have non-target pop. Oh gosh. He's got Nash Knight, right? Or did we already Nash Knight? He could maybe flip him down. What's in his extra deck here? He doesn't have a rank 5 Xyz during their turn, but on his own turn, 2 level 5 machine monsters is what's required of the Cyber Dragon Nova. So these are just additional bodies on the field, actually. Sulfador, Rebind out. Cluster is going to pop his own Azuna to make room to use the inclusion to Reborn Tristaros. Tristaros and Sulfador going into the Alesk. Alesk is going to reduce the opposing side of the field. Normal Tristaros, after adding it, we're going to be able to, that's it. We now negate your Majesty. Majesty is now pinned down. Too late. Golem Reborn from the back row, 14,000 damage on field. Set the Purge to be usable on the next turn. Majesty into the Dragster. Negate. Finish up this duel, mate. A clean 2-0. To no fault of Maff and Munster, right? Maff and Munster, I'd say, played this quite well. There was that ultimate situation earlier, which I don't think it really had any bearing on the outcome of this duel. Damn. I think he was just demotivated. That's it. With no hand traps whatsoever, let's speed this up. Siegfried can negate the search for MST, which means we may want to Lava Golem before searching for MST. 2 special summon negates. Oh boy. Machine X will get sucking. How impactful will this be? Is this a big deal? We have 2 pendulum scales, so you could MST one of the pendulum scales to turn this off from impacting us whatsoever. We would then not be able to target cards on the field, including our own, of monsters that is, with spell and trap card effects, but the bigger, more influential part of this effect is we cannot tribute summon, which is actually impactful for Radiant Typhoon. We can't tribute summon the Crusade, which we would not do anyway with the Lava Golem. By the way, a freaking Sheena is going to be insane. And by the way, the main point is we can't use our cards for Fusion, Synchro, or Xyz, but we could still link. So actually not that big of a deal. And then This is a non-target suck up a monster as the direct chain link of it activating on field. Does not negate, and it could do it multiple times. We could negate any spell or trap card in the field, and then we could negate 2 special summons, and also this could negate something activating from the hand. Monster effect in hand, negate Cresea, negate the Sheena would be the big play to negate. Or Sheena, we have 3 Sheena negates. 4, we have Impulse. Now, there has to be a card in the field for the Impulse to negate the Sheena, but to activate Sheena, you have to have a card in the field that's Wind. So 4 negates on the big Sheena. This does not mean we're not negating this. This means we're fishing for a call by the grave, and then if he doesn't finger me, then maybe I negate. What do you think? No, I'm actually going to hold on to this. Was this a mistake? Because I did note how important it was to get access to that MST to be able to special summon cards in the hand. Now if the MST gets negated, who cares? It's in the grave. It turns on all of our other cards. Whoop! Lava goal. Non-target suck. MST negate gone. MST, the Dark Contract of Eternal Darkness. Special summon Swen under the effect of Max freaking C. Let's grab the champ. These are special summons that are not activating, thus the Wave King Caesar cannot negate, and now the Kakata King can negate. When a monster on the field activates, detach material to then negate its effects, then make 1 insect on the field either 500. You freaking what, mate? We Zeusin? We Zazeusin? We're not in a summon lock from Zeus? Cresea would put us in the summon lock. I didn't Cresea. Wipe the field. Oh my Jesus. Damn. That was great, but again, we're under max freaking C. They have 7 cards in hand. Cresea will get negated by the Impulse. Impulse will disallow Light, Earth, and Wind activating for the rest of this duel. Oh boy. Get the Eldam out to ensure Sheena to be activatable. Ash negates. Endless non-engine. Non-engine maxi drawing into even more non-engine plays. Now J78. The core play you should be thinking about is the Dimensional King Arc Crisis to end it all. Gia not during the duel. Let's Surveyor grab the Doom Queen. With the Doom Queen, not enough materials under Zeus to wipe away the field. Special summon from the extra deck. Let's Reborn from Engrave. Now we can negate the Sheena. That's it. You have to banish a double D and a Dark Contract from the grave to be able to negate Sheena. And the Arc Crisis is here. On summon, activate to negate the opposing field. We can attack into everything. We can inflict piercing battle damage, and we could deal damage equal to the monster that we destroy by battle. Sheena attempt to wipe the field. Ragnarok, negate. Just like that, mate. With the help of Maxi, but still this is very cool. Let's replay up the Dark Contract of Eternal Darkness. Attack you, 27. Burn for additional damage. Attack again. Piercing battle damage. Burn for 3,000. Finished. Triple freaking D. Love it. Begin. Now, both players had 0 hand traps. Nothing, nada. So let's speed on through the turn 1. Droplet negates. We could then set up the trap. And with the trap, we could MST negate. We could also finger a card in the graveyard. We could summon a Phonics in the deck, return 2 cards, negate a monster. Could draw a Lockbird. About 7 disruptions because we have also the Monster Negator. Very nice. Let's go. With our Magala getting negated from summoning Phonics, that's a rip. Do we have a Cresea? We do. Cresea could still rip out the Phonics. Oh, we don't have the Reborner, actually. Droll on the Resolution of the Search. Call by the Grave. Finger the Mad Lad as we now chain the Radiant Typhoon Vision. With the Vision, we're going to draw 2, discard a quick player Radiant Typhoon, then activate to play the trap, as we'll be able to draw another card, maybe draw into a Sheena, and now MST will be able to negate. Now, because MST on its own already negates many of the triple D cards, you can get a 2-for-1 special. which means you could MST one card and then negate something else. And it's up to J78 to ensure that he can't make that play. Whoa, Slime Fusion Summon into the FireKing Genghis. What is this doing? Per your own turn. Once per your turn, spell and trap card or its effect is activated. Negate, does not destroy. Reborn the Count Surveyor. Savant Kepler is here. Droplet is going to freaking negate both of them. And we can't negate the Droplet. Droplet is immensely prevalent on the ladder, right? You all have to be thinking about Droplet all day, every day. Hero players in the ladder, I think all of them are maxing out on Droplet. Let's wipe away the dark. As I said, 2 for 1 special. Take out the continuous spell and then use the trap to negate something else. Negate the link to Gilgamesh Mate. Reborn back the monster negator on top of having another monster negator. Machine X is a good way to go into. Do we play it? Do we play it? No Zeus. Okay. End the turn. All right. Let's simply break the Machine X, which is not even able to suck up a single monster. No continuous spell. It did get MST'd, which we need to destroy it to then suck, otherwise detach 2 materials. Let's speed up through this inevitable defeat. Droplet, negate, reduce, trigger Chrysaea on summon, add from the grave or deck. As we, Link 2 can now push the Machine X into the back row after searching for the MST. Let's reborn back Magala, trigger Magala by using the MST. Summon from the deck of Phonics, activate Called By, probably to trigger the Phonics. Let's return back, draw 1. 8,500 damage on field, 10,000. Great Flag to boost it up to 13,000. We don't even need to trigger the Phonics. Finish him. Both players, 0 hand traps, full turn 1 undisrupted. Let's try again. Again? 0 hand traps? Really good board breaker. On top of really good board breaker, is that going to be good enough? Negate Sheena, negate 2 special summon, negate a spell and trap. We're going to suck up multiple times, at least 2 to 3 times. We have impermanence, about 8 disruption. Vision. With the draw 2, we could trigger the Phonics. You cannot trigger Chrysaea and Phonics in the same chain. Any trigger effect from the hand cannot be used within the same chain. Now, what about Sheena? It also summons from the hand. Sheena's not a trigger effect, so she would be activatable in the same chain as a trigger effect summoning from the hand. Make sense? Caesar, down 1 negate, 1 more. We still have 2 negates on the Sheena we got to play through. Let's wipe away the impermanence. Get that fool out of here. Phonics again! 1 Phonics eats up both Caesars. And if the Chrysaea could eat up the Ragnarok, then we could Sheena. It happened. The perfect play is happening. I cannot believe we did it. All 3 ways to stop the board break. The Sheena will return all of these cards back into the extra deck. And we don't have a way to stop it now. All we have to do is have a wind on the fields. And they have to activate a monster effect. And now, the unstoppable Sheena. Bounce the field, back to the extra deck you go. Everything goes back. Insane. So now you see how important this is to break the field. This very much gives you that great chance of winning going second. Unfortunately, the Queen Machine X triggered to also take out the Sheena. We did get rid of the rest of the field though. What are our other plays? Chrysaea already activated but got negated. We could tribute someone for Chrysaea. That is definitely a play to then get our Search 2 play. MST, let's wipe that fool away, which stops us from tribute summoning. And only now can we tribute summon. Chrysaea search our deck for Magala and MST. With the Megala plus MST, we're going to trigger the effect to summon from the deck a Monster Negator. There we go. With 2 MSTs in the graveyard, it can negate and destroy what we negate. Now, by putting it in the graveyard, we could just use an MST to bring it back. Let's do exactly that. MST away the Ragnarok, which would have the ability to reborn a monster from the graveyard during the next turn. And now we have the Monster Negate and Destroy. It is main phase 1. There's some cope that we could do some meaningful damage here. What do you think? This really screws up Triple D. If you grab their monster and push it into the pendulum scale, it's not a pendulum. It's a monster face up as a continuous spell in the pendulum scale, which then screws up their pendulum summoning. If they want to have that as an additional play. Messes up the Gilgamesh, takes up a spot. So we're going to do that, right? Yep, there you go, yeah. That's not a pendulum scale. Ain't no way. Now, Monster Negate, Negate with the Mandate. MST itself is just going to be good against a continuous spell and Pendulum deck. We also have the Phonics, which will not be a disruption, unfortunately. Burn for 1k. Count Surveyor is going to discard the special summon. Necro Slime is the most powerful effect in the deck. If you have an Impulse, if you have a Monster Negate, that's the card you want to stop. It is the most beneficial, it's the biggest pluses, it's huge. MST, the Dark Contract, and negate the Surveyor. 2 for 1 special. And this is it. J78's got to bait out the Monster Negate. Now, what's happening here is the Queen is coming out to non-target destroy a card in the field. And we chain link blocked, negating that with the Phonics. So we were in a scenario where we actually had to freaking negate. He popped his own card instead. He made room so he could Gilgamesh. That's how impactful it was to push the monster in the back row. He had to pop his own card instead of taking out the Monster Negate. What the heck's going on, mate? Got him. Who's been got? Radiant Typhoon's been got. He's been baited. Because now we can perform the most powerful effect, the Necro Slime. And Gilgamesh also triggers to summon the Ragnarok. To then further reborns you back. Let's further make the Ragnarok, which can now negate a monster effect in the hand. Let's banish from the grave for the Arc Crisis. Arc Crisis here, negate the entire field, as we're now going to give it the additional benefit of dealing damage per monster we destroy by battle and piercing battle damage. So it looks like we don't even need the Necro Slime. And Necro Slime, of course, more beneficial if you have fusions to summon off of this. Burn for 3,000. Is this negated? Why did this get destroyed? Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while your opponent controls no spell and trap cards. It got negated by the Arc Crisis itself. On summon, non-target, negate the field. Lethal damage. Damn. That's the real card we had to focus on. How do you stop this card, though? You have to stop them from getting a fusion, a synchro, an Xyz, and a pendulum on the field or in grave. Once those 4 are on the field or in the graveyard, non-targets negate the opposing field, attack and everything, piercing battle damage, and deal attack damage equal to the attack of the monster we destroy by battle. Insane. What the punk? Gold Pride punk? What the heck are you doing? People are really roguing it out today. They think they can bring whatever they want because Dracotail got nerfed. Good idea. There's not a lot of Dracotail today. Damn. Begin. Now, I just want to say that it's important. This happens every time with new ban lists, new packs. It takes more than 1 tournament for the tier list to settle. It's about 2 weeks of tournaments, community tournaments, meta weekly, all that stuff, and it usually always settles after all. But don't ever look at a single tournament in a vacuum and think that's what the new meta is. It could help set trends. It could, put into motion some things on the trajectory of how the meta will possibly be developing. But it's initially not looking very good for Dracotail. Fua loss into Fua. Double the Fua. Sure. What can we do under double Fua? We're going to have to pass early. As we wag on, grab the field spell. Field spell could draw up to twice in one turn. Now, what are our disruptions here? The Gold Pride start your engines. If your opponent summons a monster, you target that monster to then destroy the targeted monster, and you summon a Fusion Enabler from the deck. Can the Fusion Enabler actually make a play, though? We normally would summon this or the Leon, right? The Roller Baller. During the main phase fusion, summon into a Gold Pride Fusion. Is that even summonable? The Gold Pride Fusion, what are the materials here? Because this is important for you to understand if you're playing against this deck. It's a Gold Pride, Roller Baller, and the Gold Pride monster, so he actually does not have that fusion play. So then the other idea is, what about the Leo? Can the Leo go into this? A tuner, non-tuner. So I guess the Leo would be the form of disruption that they would be summoning from the deck, right? You summon this during the opponent's main phase, perform a synchro. So we get rid of a monster on summon, and then we have the synchro here. Sorry for this convolution, and we just got to figure this out. And then you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. This card will then destroy that monster if your life is lower than the opponent. So you have double disruption through the trap, and then we have the Gabu. Target an effect monster negates effects. Triple disruption through the Fua loss, drawing 2. It was a double Fua, though. Reinforce our hand. Raisin, come to me. Quantum Layer before summoning our Raisin into the column of the Wagon. We're going to negate the Raisin right then and there. We're not negating the effect. We're negating the card, so the other effect of destroying the column is no good. We still have the start your engines. When it's triggered on the opponent's summon. On normal or special, target one of those monsters that are normal or specialed. Didn't even get forced to use it. Foxy Toon is here. Let's summon the Punk Scene for the deck as we have Rock of the Vanquisher. Raise it on summon. We're using it on our own turn. This will be destroying the Raisin. Wipe it out. Reveal 3. Come to me. Leon is here. Raisin still goes through with the search. Now, can Holly Sue do anything? Holly Sue requires a Darken Fire. I don't see a fire. Or a Darken Earth. We can't disrupt a Holly Sue. We can't take control. We can't summon from the deck. Droll and Lockbird. Now, if we kept the red layer in hand, the Holly Sue would be able to summon from the deck. We have Holy Punkage. Abin is fully popping off. We have the Rising Carp here, which has the big choke point where you want to ash this or impulse this of summoning 2 bodies from the deck. With those 2 bodies, we're going to turn it into a Jam Dragon Drive. Jam Dragon Drive could search for an Ogre if you want to play that. We now have a Jam Fever, further negating a monster effect. If you want Holly Sue, you'll get negated. Psychic and Punisher giving us a way to deal with the Liger if needed. We're going to be banishing away our own monster plus theirs at the cost of 1,000 life. But boost at the start of the battle phase, unaffected from activated effects. Psychic and Punisher for 7,100 damage. Well done. Double Quantum Red Layer, what the heck? Reveal some for the deck. Double, you Fua lost me. I'm gonna Fua you. I'm not gonna just Fua you. I'm gonna Fua, and Max freaking C. Drex, I'm sorry, I don't know. Do you deserve to get Max Seed because you are a top tier deck or what? Ain't no way. We could have ashed, fingered, and still get Max Seed. Draw 2, we now have the Gold Pride, better luck next time. Imperm, negate the Raisin. I think a lot of people have been immensely enjoying the fact that there's not many people using impermanence against them. And if rogue decks are going to be on the rise, then there's going to be a lot more impermanence. Ogre onto the Ripper, forcing the negates. Now, we don't negate for free. It does cost a detach. The problem with Ogre negating this is only if it's your first hand trap. If it's your first hand trap, not a good idea because then they get to set the force release. If it's your second hand trap or more, then it's okay to knock off a material if you have another hand trap you may be using on the next turn. Because now we have to deal with a non-target pop, and then he could pop again or banish a card from the hand. We also have Azuna into the Lupus, which will be a third form of disruption. Better luck next time. Come to us, Roller Baller. Roller Baller, special summon. As we're now going to Captain Carry special summon onto the field. Further searching our deck for a next turn play disruption. Let's fuse it up. Now, isn't this fusion a non-target suck? How does this work? If this card is fusion summoned, you can equip face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of fusion materials used. We're about to get sucked. We have to use the Force Release. Let's get Force Releasing. Force Release it up. Non-target pop away. This doesn't have destruction protection, right? We're going to find out if there's some secret protection here, as the Pinballer has nothing to get sucking. Now we're going to Azuna, as the Ash is going to negate the Azuna from dumping the Lupus and then Reborn to, let's say, go into maybe a Nash Knight, Umbral Horror on summon, pop a back row card. This is a double disruption, but is it a double disruption if we don't have another card to synchro with or fuse with? So it's actually one disruption, and then we have one monster negate. Double disrupt mate. To battle we go. Let's take out the Fluid Loss. Force Release reset, which could summon a Jax. So this is still a double disrupt. It pops on summon, and then Jax will pop again, or wait to be triggered to pop. Werewolf's gonna look at your hand. Was that scale summonable? Banish a Punk from the graveyard? We did not have a Punk to even summon it with. All right? Yeah, nothing we can really do. And then you can't just start your engine whenever you want. It has to be off of the opponent's summoning to then summon a monster from the deck. 1-in-1. Captain Carry, start your engines, pass. Oh my Jesus, what did we accomplish here? We can pop a monster on summon, we could fuse to the non-target suck, we could imperm negate a monster, and we could negate a monster again. Plus we could finger a card in grave. 5 disruption. Called by against this deck, I think would be really good against the Lantern. The Lantern will not even summon. Once targeting the card in grave to summon, finger it, and then it's stuck in the hand. There's an important nuance here. The fact that Abin, not purposely, just, you know, through natural play, only has 1 card in hand. We now know that Drex can't search a Noroi and normal summon Noroi. We can't normal summon, they gotta have 2 cards or more in hand. Grabbing a Lantern alongside our Jokel. Mad Love, Imperm Negate, and you have to remember, against a Vanquish Soul deck, Imperm or a targeting Negate is usually gonna miss. They have so many cards to just dodge it, right? Is it so many cards really? I mean, Caesar and the Borger to yoink it off the fields. No Caesar, no Borger. Rock of the Vanquisher. Add back the Mad Love, as the Jokel's going to reveal Lantern to come forth and summon. Will this trigger the start your engine? Yes, it will. We're going to choose just 1 to destroy. As we reveal 3, summon onto the field the Leon. Then Leon, I don't think is a disruption because our life is not lower than the opponent. Do we lose life? I don't think this does anything unless we lose life points. Yeah, did not. Target a monster, gain attack, then only if your life is lower, which it's not, do you get to then destroy that monster. Then it goes back in the end phase. Leon is going to use the effect to Reborn. DD Crow, banish away the carry. No Reborn for you. Call by the grave, finger the DD Crow, trying to banish away my play. Not today. Damn. And the Leon Reborning carry should be triggering here, yes? On special summon, add a gold Pride Trap for the next turn. We have a start your engine ready. Can we pop off? Ooh, emergency teleport. This should be a big play. Chariot carry is here. Detach the carry. Grab a better luck next time. Droll in Lockbird. This is a continuous spell. We cannot chain to it. Rock of the Vanquisher, special summon a Mad Love onto the field. Little Knight on summon, banish away a play. Take out that Lantern, set and pass. Quite the underwhelming follow-up turn, and we do have to blame Droll and Lockbird for that. We do have Little Knight to chain banish. We could still negate. We could pop a card on summon. I would think the emergency teleport could be used alongside the start your engine to be that fourth form of disruption. Can we play through 4? Again, only 1 card in hand. I can't normal summon Azuna. I can't normal summon Naroi. Rock of the Vanquisher, we're going to negate. Not today, mate. I guess another downside is, where is our Lantern? We normally would only play 1 Lantern, right? Can't search another Lantern. Naroi could be tribute summoned, though. Summon for the deck, the Azuna. Azuna dump from the deck, but we're now going to be triggering the Star Your Engine to take out the Azuna. Lupus will not be rebornable unless we activated something from the hand or grave, which we did not. Come forth, Leon is here. So Leon plus the emergency teleport is actually not a disruption unless Carrie loses life. Carrie only loses life if you special summon it. Little Knight would be the final disruption. Little Knight could chain to the Typhon. Or, is there a reason we don't Little Knight banish our carry to dodge the Typhon? Huh? Why? How'd that happen? How do we not chain Little Knight? There's no lingering effect turning off Little Knight? Was it? To start your engine, make it so Little Knight cannot activate or something? Huh? They don't need to, but why not keep Little Knight? And then he'd have to bounce his own Rock or his own Typhon. Oh well. Azuna is now activatable since you activate a card in Grave. Lupus also activatable. Come forth and summon, getting ready for our rank 5 Xyz. How do we deal with an unaffected by all opposing card effects? Share Kusai, further fusion summoning into the Rising Carp. So you could summon it again. Okay, I guess that's an idea. Just let Little Knight go back and then resummon it later. Not boosting up at the start of the battle phase. So what could be the reason to not boost at the start of the battle phase? I guess the idea would be if you boost up at the start of the battle phase, you give the opponent potentially the opportunity to swing in on purpose to reduce their life to be lower than yours, and then you'll no longer be affected. Or Typhon would be another reason why you can't even activate it. Typhon, it's not unaffected from Typhon, preventing it. It would definitely be a good idea to boost up on your own turn, because if they then go to the battle phase on the next turn, then you boost again, and then they don't really have that play to swing in because you'll be way too boosted. Now, share Kusai on the opposing player's turn should be a form of disruption, right? During the opponent's turn, pay 600, perform a synchro summon. I don't think we have what's needed to be a disruption play. We're at 4,400 with the share Kusai in attack position. If we activate the synchro into a level 6, it has to be a punk synchro. You're not a punk. What the heck is going on here? Rip her, rip it up. Can we ignore the Psychic and Punisher? Is that viable? To not even interact with it and still have a way to win this duel. Rock of the Vanquisher, summon the Raisin. Raisin searching for the Holly Sue. Turn 6 is crazy. Is this welcome to new Yu-Gi-Oh or what? Joker plus Holly Sue. Come to me, Azuna. As we further get ready with the Nash Knight. Nash Knight, non-target suck up an opposing card. We cannot suck up the Psychic and Punisher. Let's turn this Chaos Nash Knight into the Umbral Horror. Umbral Horror could pop the back row card. As we further go into our Little Knights, he did not boost. No boost. So what happens if you're unaffected as long as your life is equal to or less than mine, and I use Rock to crash into your 3,500, and then I drop down, right? He is boosting. So now the Rock would maybe be too small to even want to crash into the Psychic and Punisher, but could we crash something else into it? Yes, we can. And guess what? I'm now lower life than you. Oops. Should we have not boosted? Or what? Was the boost a mistake? And now you're affected by Zeus. Ain't no way. Wipe the field. So, you know, this is what I was talking about earlier. You got to be careful with boosting your Psychic and Punisher. Yeah, normal summon my one of Max C and scoop it. Well done. Good job. It was the perfect scenario where Typhon stopped the first boost, because boosting on your own turn is pretty much always a good idea, because once you get to the second boost on the opponent's turn, it's not really going to be feasible to crash in likely, possibly if you're way too boosted. Damn. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16, as we're now going to be advancing into the top 8 grand finale and top deck list, where we're going to be going in at it again with magnets.